Welcome to the Coastside 5 Protection District Board of Directors Special Board Meeting, November 16, 2022. Roll call, please, Jane.
Yes, good evening. Director Cockrell.
Here.
Director McKimmey.
Here.
Director Sherrill.
Here.
Director Stockman. Absent. Director Burke.
Okay.
Thank you.
Please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the consent calendar, please make a note that Director McKinney is recusing himself from voting on this item. With that, do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar? So moved. Second, moved in second. Any?
Sorry, Mr. President, Burke, just wanted to go back to public comment. Was actually.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Oh. Let's leave that. We have a motion and a second of the consent calendar, but let's go back to the public comment. I'll open the public comment period.
Diane Burton, you have 3 minutes.
Yeah, this is actually Marcus Burton. I'm Diane Burton's husband. And we received a notice to destroy weeds for parcel number 036-261-070 that Diane and myself own. And we are living in Sacramento, and we just wanted to know what areas of the property need to be cleaned, or it says declaring that noxious or dangerous weeds were growing upon or in front of the property. And we actually don't own the front 20 feet of that property, but we are more than happy to get whatever weeds taken care of that need to be. I think that the only thing is that we just need to figure out where the weeds are. We live in Sacramento, California, and we definitely want to comply and make sure that we get rid of those noxious or dangerous weeds. We're just wondering if that is truly our property that is on the 20 foot parcel in front of our property that actually is our neighbor's property.
Do we need to, Chief, determine and get back to Mr. Burton as to what property it is and what is not?
Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Burton, the fire marshal's office, they're in the room here today. If you make contact with them either by phone or by email, they're happy to assist you with any specific parcel questions related to weed abatement.
Okay, thank you. And is there a number where I need to call to do that, or?
If you call our direct line to the fire station, they'll direct you to our office. Also on the website, coastsidefire.org, there is an email link to utilize as well to email us directly. We can have someone come out to the property, also take a look, and then respond back to you with comments.
Okay, so it's coastsidefiredepartment.com.
Coastsidefire.org.
.org. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, asked me to get off.
All right, next speaker is Rama, 3 minutes starting now.
Yes, sir. We got notice the same as the Burtons to destroy the weeds. And this property is 037-320-270. And we have done extensive work last year. So we would like to know exactly what needs to be done this year, and we would like to comply to it.
Thank you, Rama. I actually have your contact information, and it was sent to the fire marshal's office, I believe today. So you should be hearing back from them in the near future.
Thank you very much, sir. And if you don't mind, could you please give me the email address which is on the website? Because I searched for the email address and I couldn't find it. Sorry.
Sure. It's CFPD Fire Marshal, all one word, FIREMARSHAL
Uh-huh.
at fire.ca.gov.
CFPD.gov. So that is CFPD dot fire marshal, CFPD dot fire marshal at fire.ca.gov.
No dot, just CFPD Fire Marshal at fire.ca.gov.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. All right, next speaker is showing us KG, 2 minutes starting now. Sorry, 3 minutes starting now. KG, whoever's got KG as their initials, if they'd like to speak, now is your opportunity.
Chief, I believe they are muted.
KG's muted, yeah.
Yeah, I've asked them to unmute. KG, if you're speaking, we cannot hear you. All right, we'll come back to that. Next speaker, Joe G. Montera, 3 minutes starts now.
Yeah, hi, this is Joe Guntran. I'm just here to listen to the meeting. I have no comments at this time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'll go back to whoever's initials are KG. If you'd like to unmute, if you'd like to speak, now is your opportunity. All right, seeing no further, end of public comment.
Thank you very much. My marshal's office, thank you, you know, great. All right, we had a motion and a second on the consent calendar with Director McKinney recusing himself. Roll call, please, Jean.
Director Cockrell,
Yes.
Director Sherrill, President Burke,
Yes.
motion passes 3-1-1. Thank you.
Very much. Item 6, continued business weed abatement, cheap costs.
Thank you, Director Burke. This is really just the formality for any property owners having objection to the removal of such weeds for the notices that were sent out last month.
I will open a public comment again in case there's any other new people or would like to speak. If anybody else would like to speak on this subject. Hearing none, I'll close the public meeting. There's no more than to be discussed on that issue. Moving on to item D, review and discuss Fire Station 41 lot improvements, non-lot improvements, options and cost estimates, chief costs.
This is a follow-up from the original request for the options for the Station 41 North lot. If you remember, the last update you had was Kendra with RHAA who gave a presentation. Since then, we've met with County Public Works as well as the County Planning Department, who has put together the Connect the Coast Side plan that has been adopted by the Board of Supervisors. Two options have emerged and come before you. Option one is just improving everything that is within the Coastside Fire District's property with vegetation that matches the actual landscaping of the station. The second option includes the sitting area as well as sidewalks and improvements to the right of way. You'll remember at your direction, pricing out both options was also requested by the board, and these two options are priced out for board consideration. This is really just bringing information back to the board and seeking guidance on next steps.
Questions and comments?
From looking at the property over at Saturday, it looks great. Just the way it is, as long as it's a little green.
Yeah, I just, I'll have just a couple of questions. One is that on the diagrams that were before us, they're both option 1 and option 2. There is a line that says property line
Yes,
that goes, that cuts off a good deal of that property. Is that the property line of the fire district?
That is, yeah.
The rest of that property is the county's?
Yes, that's correct.
So if there were a sidewalk to be built there, it would be completely on property line.
It would be, and I believe that is right-of-way land, so
Right of
it would be right-of-way that we would have to, I believe, if I'm remembering this correctly, apply for a right-of-way encroachment permit to the county for any development on that property.
Well, in looking at these two documents, that is item option 1 and item option 2. To me, to do anything on that property without having a sidewalk, it doesn't make much sense. I mean, the new coastal trail is going to end across the street. If anything, there's going to be more traffic there now. And there's already a path that's going down through the side of that property currently. I would, I'm not sure where or what the next step is to pursue with the county finishing the sidewalk. It's completed above with an ADA exit on it and also an ADA exit on or entrance on the bottom side. I just would like to get some very specific as what we need to do to get the county to finish the sidewalk before we make any decision on the internal design of what's there.
I've got a question. The existing sidewalk, reference the same sidewalk that Director Burke is referencing. Did we put that in? Or did the county put that in the sidewalk?
That's there now?
Yes.
I don't know the answer to that.
So the sidewalk that's in front of the new station was a condition of approval for the new station that we, the district, put in when we built it, so.
So we paid for it.
So that's ours, okay. Thank you.
This is an interesting problem because if you just improve what the district owns, you'll have lovely landscaped atoll that will be surrounded until the sidewalk is put in by a messy edge. And but it's expensive and it increases, doubles the cost of this whole project to do that sidewalk. So I agree with President Burke, if we can do these two projects together, where we do the district's property at our expense, as the schematic design is indicating, and the county does that sidewalk at their expense, then this will be a doable project. It's $141,000 gift to the public, but it's on our land and we should do it if that's what everyone wants to do. But to do both of those things at exclusively our cost seems excessive.
I have another question concerning this. And my question is, how will this further our ability to provide emergency service?
Yeah, the only nexus to emergency services that we've really discussed is just the idea of safety and the fact that you're making the property safer as people transition through. So arguably, if you're making the property safer, you're reducing the chance of someone getting hurt. But it doesn't directly relate to providing the service.
That's okay.
It's enhancing our image in the community, just as our landscaping here is to do.
Yeah, it is expensive, there's no getting around doing it, but certainly we wanted to be a good citizen and have the property look nice as well as, and I think it would be a safety issue in terms of people coming down that hill. Because there's a steady stream of people walking down there to the beach. I think to move it forward just a little bit, I mean, what do we have to, Gene, I'd like your input on this, do we need to enlist Kerry to perhaps interact with the county to see what needs to be done relative to getting a sidewalk in place?
Yes, I think she could be helpful in that regard if you'd like us to reach out to her.
What's the board think?
Yes.
We have a new supervisor coming in January, maybe we're not changed. And we have a supervisor departing.
Yeah.
So perhaps there's an opportunity there to have this discussion.
Well, I sense, Chief, that what I would like to do is to, through Terry, to engage the county in ways that are appropriate to find out what needs to be done relative to that sidewalk. To be relative to the public works budget of the county, we're not talking about a major issue here at all. And as I recall, the planning is already there. There are plans for a sidewalk. So all we're doing now is getting the financing and the actual building.
Yeah, I'm just, if I may, I'm a little bit concerned. One of the options I think we need to consider is doing nothing. The second one would be to just maybe keep it mowed. Another option would be, you were talking about all sorts of irrigation and using water and that kind of stuff. And I'm thinking, how about just some crushed rock or something like that? Once it's in there, it's in there. We can forget about it after that. You know, they're graded and put it nicely. And I would suspect that I'm not a contractor, I haven't referred to Bruce. It would probably be a whole lot less expensive than the things we're discussing right here. And what might be.
We could also fence district property, which would alleviate the safety hazard of people cutting through there.
Well, I'm sure there's a number of options that can certainly some of them as well. As far as the way the landscape is done, on the last one, that's got to do that. I would think that it would be the minimum amount, no water, rocks, whatever thing to do it. But to me, that's the second or third step. After we figure out if we get a sidewalk, but
Okay.
and then other items, whether it's a fence or whatever else we need to do, we can decide at that point. But that's my. I think the opinion of the board at this point is we ask Terry to take the step, find out what's new, what can be done, and a timeline to do it. And then report that to the board, and then we'll find out what the next step is. Okay.
Fair enough.
Okay. Moving on to new business. Item 7, resolution finding that meetings of the board of directors via teleconferencing protect against the ongoing imminent health and safety risks proposed by COVID-19. Motion to adopt resolution number 2022-65, resolution of the Coastside Fire Protection District, finding the meeting of the board of directors via hybrid format protects against ongoing imminent health and safety risks. This is a thing we do every month. It's rote, nothing new on this thing at all. So I do have a motion to adopt resolution 222-65.
Second.
Yes.
Yes, and second. Okay. Any further discussion? Roll call, please, Jane.
Director Cockrell,
Yes.
Director McKimmy,
Yes.
Director Sherrill,
Yes.
President Burke.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0-1.
Item B, new business, review and discuss approved surplus of equipment. Chief Cox.
Thank you. Mainly this is the surplusing of the 2012 Chevy Tahoe. It does need some work on a transmission, and since it is no longer utilized, we're seeking to auction off.
So is this just the one? Or just a thing, okay.
Let me just make sure we didn't also put it in there. Oh, excuse me. Yes, it's just the one for this motion.
Do I have a motion to adopt resolution 222-66 to surplus the Chevy Tahoe?
Moved.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call, please, Jane.
Director Cockrell,
Yes.
Director McKimmy,
Yes.
Director Sherrill,
Yes.
President Burke.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0-1.
And 2, approve invitation for sealed bid package Chevrolet Tahoe SUV. Chief Cox.
Yeah, this is just to approve seeking to put it out to auction, so that we can receive bids for the unit.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the invitation sale bid on the Chevrolet Tahoe?
So moved.
So second,
Moved and second. Any further comment? Roll call, please, Jane.
Director Cockrell,
Yes.
Director McKimmy,
Yes.
Director Cheryl,
yes,
President Burke.
Yes.
Motion passes 401.
Thank you. Item under D in new business, the proclamation for our retiring board director, Steve Stockman, has been postponed to our December meeting. Moving on to board of directors and chiefs report, the finance committee report. There was no finance committee meeting. JD, did you have any comments?
No, none whatsoever.
Just a couple of,
I have a question. You don't have any of the documentation.
it's too early in the month. We have this as a special
16th,
meeting.
of course.
Yeah.
So,
And we will have it next
got
month. Yeah, we do not have the detailed packet this month. You know, just as an item though, the finance issue that you read about, I don't know if you saw it, but it was kind of interesting that the fire department, FDAC, Association of California, Firefighters Association of California, has put out a survey that is a pretty blunt attempt to do away with ERAF funding. You've seen that, Chief, by any chance? Anybody else? I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but if you recall, a couple months ago, there was quite a legal and political battle going on as to whether the ERAF would be given back to special districts here in San Mateo County. That particular, at that moment, was decided in special districts in our favor to do that type of thing. However, there is apparently, from what I read from FDAC, there, to back up just for a moment, the ER amounts to about a $1.2 million of our budget.
Yes.
And we've had that money to us for at least the last 25 years. So it's been part of a ongoing budget to do that. The difficult issues involved is that there's only, I believe, in the state, 3 counties that have a surplus of ERAF. Us, Marin, and I think Contra, one other. So there's a large majority of counties and fire districts who would like to take that money away from special districts and provide it to cities and counties. And my point in bringing it up, that if in fact it were to be taken away from special districts, us specifically, it would be a big hit on our budget, to say the least, to do that. The other item, just in passing interest, if you read it, probably have too, that the first quarter of the calendar year has seen a sizable drop in California revenue, state level. And speculation is that will be reflected in local county budgets as well, and ultimately will affect this as well. So it's not a growing surplus of money. It certainly seems to be on the downturn. That's the only comments I have on finance for this month.
So you know how I feel about ERAF. It's a tax theft, and the people need to know that. It's a tax theft. They're stealing money from us.
Yeah. It's an issue that's not financial, political, and emotional.
Yes.
President Burke, if I could just ask that we go back to new business item C.
Did I miss one? Oh, okay, thank you. A review and discuss and approve destruction of documents, Chief Cox.
This is just a continuation of us streamlining all of our existing documents and putting them into long-term storage. In front of you is just the schedule of documents that we're asking for approval to destruct in accordance with the retention schedule.
Do I have a motion to approve resolution number 2022-67?
So moved.
Seconded. Discussion. Roll call, please, Jean.
Sorry, excuse me. Director Cockrell,
yes.
Director McKimmy,
Yes.
Director Cheryl,
yes,
President Burke.
Yes.
Motion passes 401.
Volunteer committee report, Director Cockrell.
Volunteers met at the Windsor meeting on the 3rd of November. They had some volunteers, they will be having some volunteers coming to sell T-shirts. But the idea is to follow their sponsoring local show by local artists. Volunteers have been requested to drive the Santa parade. There was a discussion about people to go from 20 to 25. That obviously was pretty interesting. We seem to have no problem recruiting volunteers at the present time. There's a discussion about the new engines that will be coming out. And I'm not gonna- the announcers no training on Thanksgiving Day. So we talked about engine before we broke down. The volunteers carry it, so we use it for pumpkin festival parade. There's a discussion about something we're already aware of, the fixing of engine for this engine. And there are no calls during the pumpkin festival until after it was over. We're happy about that. It happened to be volunteers, which is 501c3, currently has a account balance of $202,837. At 8:23, the meeting adjourned.
Director Cockrell, did they start in North County this week?
The Academy date, I believe they have it here. I don't think the Academy date had been decided. Should she cross?
Yeah, I think they're doing the EMS portion, the pre-academy EMS portion, and then I believe the academy is slated to start in June.
There's enthusiasm in the community for this marathon. So congratulations.
Chief Cox, do you know ballpark how much it costs to outfit each volunteer?
Yeah, depends if you put the training in there or not. Just the tools and equipment, it's about $5,000 per crew.
Right.
But then if you put the training component in there, it's probably somewhere between $3,000 to $5,000 for all the hours that we put in for training as well.
On top of that 5,000 outfit.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
We have a number of our volunteers which have gone to work for other fire departments. Do they reimburse us at all? Training?
Nice try.
Yeah, exactly.
We have at least 2 volunteers that currently use the San Francisco Fire Department.
Yeah. So it usually works that they'll then go through another academy in San Francisco. Unfortunately, they have to do everything twice.
That is it?
That's it.
Okay, thank you. Land and Structures Committee meeting.
We talked to the open house at 41 was great. I kind of walked the property and saw something that I brought to Chief Cox's attention about the seal the top of the generator. But aside from that, that's looking good. I assume the plans, the plans for 44 are on the move.
Or the RFP closes, I believe, the week after Thanksgiving.
Okay, cool, very cool. And I see the landscaping here. Is it done?
It is.
Awesome. Looks great.
Yeah, good.
Hopefully can keep the water turned on a little bit and maintain it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe we could make Station 41 look as nice.
I hope so.
For $257,000, I certainly hope so.
All right. Thank you, Bruce.
Yeah.
But just another comment on the open house. Chief, what was your impression of the 41?
Yeah, really, really well received.
Yeah.
We think based on the donut consumption, and we had at least 200 people come through there. And yeah, just great. People said they were excited to finally be able to see the inside and actually get a look.
Good, yeah, well organized, yeah, very nice. Vegetation Management Committee.
There's no report this month.
Okay. And Special District Association, there is no report. And ALS, JPA, no report, no meeting. emergency preparedness with this, Cheryl.
Emergency preparedness, the key topic this month has all been about the SMC alert and migrating from one platform to another and being re-released to the public, giving the public the option to opt in and to select from a much longer and more customized list of options. So you can, for example, opt into traffic reports on the 92 if that's of interest to you, whereas that was not so much an option before. So that's merely an example. It's a list of things, and the public will each member by themselves need to go into the system, select, reactivate, and select the features that they want to see. This rolling out of this new process is going to take some time. That is really the only report at this stage. I have spoken with President Burke about the possibility of us receiving emergency management reports from another source, but it looks like that needs a little more work between now and next month. If we want to continue to have an emergency preparedness liaison report. I think there are others more qualified than I am. The problem is that the emergency management report, the meetings that I attend, the KEEP meeting and the EMA meeting for the county, they both happen, one at the very beginning of the month, and the EMA meeting is tomorrow. So what happens is, or would be, was canceled this month, my news is always a month old. And I really feel like that this group deserves better, more timely news.
Does the city of Hampton Bay also have a head of emergency management person?
They did, there was a recent sort of change of city management personnel. And in that, the person who was in charge of that, Corey Stocker, did leave the city. There is a new person there who's been with the city for a while, who is covering the emergency management. But on the website, as I looked it up today, if you need emergency information, you are in contact David Cosgrave, who is listed as officing through the sheriff's substation. But the number that he gives is his office, that is given on this is the office number that he has in Redwood City at his DEM office.
Okay.
And it's his DEM address. So he is the person who has this information now. And of course, has a lot of familiarity with the coastline. So perhaps could focus the information on exactly what we need.
Thank you. Server report.
CERT report, we are very grateful that Chief Cox and the other organizers of the wonderful opening for Station 41 permitted us to have a table on site, an educational table, an outreach table, and we were already seeing benefits from that with people signing in for spring CERT. Thank you very much. And the very next day, here at this site, we had 70 people come out. 31 certs, and the rest were instructors and existing certs who come to support them in their final training and graduation day. So we have 31 new certs on the coast side from 13 neighborhoods, existing neighborhoods. So we're grateful to the district and very pleased to have a very successful day on Sunday. It's our report for the year.
Well done. And, attorney's report. Jean?
Nothing. Thank you very much.
Fire marshal's report.
Chief Silva is in training, so I'll defer to Captain Whitman.
I'll make this quick. I've updated you guys the last 2 times, but to date, we're looking at 700 plan reviews completed out of this office for coastside specifically.
How many?
700. Which includes upwards of over 200 actual construction inspections as well. So when you have 700 plans, 200 inspections, we obviously know there's a lot more in-field inspections going forward because most projects will have a minimum of 2 inspections per project as well. So we're quite busy here on coastside. Other than that, we are progressing forward with our mandatory and business inspections for completion by end of year. That is it.
Thank you, Captain.
Very good. Based on what you have coming down the pike, how many new living units, how many dwelling units are we discussing?
It's kind of all over the place. The 700 number doesn't necessarily mean all new construction. It can be remodels, solar.
Sure.
We'd say about 300, about 300.
300 new dwelling units, houses, apartments.
Roughly, yes. ADUs, yes.
Yes, ADUs.
And we're also now the SB9 properties are coming into play at the split lots. So that's going to add a new feature to our office.
Thank you. That should help. Okay.
Very much so.
I have a question. Do you, is most of the mowing and heavy fuels mitigation done for the year, or is that ongoing?
For this calendar year, a lot of the mowing was completed. Normally, correct me if I'm wrong here, but it's completed normally May, in spring, when after you hit the tallest grass, when it's starting to turn brown. We want to get it then, not mow in say February, then mow again in May, or double our efforts. Other than that, we're now just doing spot check and site visits on specific concerns of the public within the district, and anything that's kind of flagged for us to address.
What is your sense of people responding to the letters that are sent asking them to take care of their properties and are, how about tax bill payments? Do you have any sense of that?
I won't be able to comment on tax bill payments, but I do think when they receive the information in the mail, they do take it pretty serious, because we definitely have an uptick in emails and phone calls seeking clarification, as you saw today as well.
Right.
So people are taking it serious, and I think everything's magnified, obviously, been magnified since the CZU lightning companies.
Do you get a report back from the county attorney's office about who actually has paid if they've been fined?
I cannot specifically speak to that.
Yeah, we do not get a report back. That goes, I believe the lien is placed by the county on the property. We don't hear back from them.
The bringing up to date, the terminology is wrong here, but on those lots that were identified, cutting all the trees down, 15 lots of people was this past year. That is now, will be resumed again, next spring, next summer?
Yeah, so there's two programs. There's the weed abatement program, which has been going on for a long time. Last year, we started the vegetation abatement, which is a lot more intensive and a lot more expensive, really. That is a lot of the comments we got tonight are people who've gotten the vegetation clearance letter. And if they don't do the work by the specified date, then the district will do the work and it goes on the tax roll. That's usually when they get a lot of emails, because it costs a lot of money to remove it.
That's helpful, thank you.
I just want to thank you in public, because as we are out talking to people and people talk to us, the response rate from your office is excellent. You say when they call that number on the website that they always get a response and that there's follow-up.
We strive to address all concerns quickly, at least to make contact with the individual, but also we're really trying to roll them to utilize the email as well for an even quicker response and the ability to share information with them. So anyone you talk to, we recommend email as the quickest turnaround time and the easiest way for us to give them additional information if they need it.
Thank you. Fire chief's report.
No statistics this month. Obviously, the stats came out yesterday, so they'll be in next month's board packet. The station, we talked a little bit the last 2 months, we made the change to the station move up module for station 40. We've been looking at the results of that. I looked at the numbers yesterday to just get a spot check of the month before. Looks like call times have decreased since we've done that, which is a good thing. But we want to keep an eye on it. And to refresh your memory, in the past, anytime engine 40 would get a call, it would automatically send an engine to cover here. The way that they have modified it now is only certain call types that are traditionally longer term calls, vehicle accidents, quick rescues, or when they get on scene and they've been on scene for a certain amount of time, it will send a cover engine. So it's an inexact science, because you can never predict where the call is going to be. But we're trying to get the right balance between the right number of move ups and not overmoving apparatus. Had another meeting with the new sheriff's captain out here on the coast. We have a standing meeting now every month, and next year, or next month, that's also going to include the new city manager. Just so the three of us are meeting on a monthly basis to talk about any issues. Good rapport and relationship being built there. As well as obviously the county fire chiefs meeting. One thing that we are looking at is a change of the way resources get dispatched with the new CAD at the county level. Not to get into technicalities of it, but trying to overcome some technical issues. We shouldn't see a big change here on the coast because our stations are fairly spread apart. Where other jurisdictions, it's a little more impactful when they're close together. As far as personnel are concerned, the state hiring process for fire apparatus engineers, which is our entry level position, will start next week. And we just finished fire marshal interviews last week. There were 6 or 7 candidates. We should have an announcement by next month's meeting as far as who that new fire marshal is going to be. As far as outreach goes, we talked about Station 41. I just want to take a moment to thank the crew there, Captain Martin, Cecile, Chief West. They did an awesome job on just making sure it was organized, professional. My biggest concern, which was getting people parked and making sure we didn't disrupt traffic too much, they successfully pulled off. In addition, the volunteers, we have the volunteers there as usual. They're fantastic. They do whatever needs to be done. So a great event. As far as facilities are concerned, the gating project here, the gate defense, we should have a document back to the board for next month for an RFP to move that forward. And apparatus wise, the 2 new Pierce engines, Chief West and Captain Mingstein, I believe they're going back out on December 5th to Wisconsin to actually do the final inspection on the 2 engines. That's when they spend 2 days literally going down the whole 50-page list of every.
So they spent, how long were they there?
They'll go out in December. They'll go for 2 days in December 5th. Yeah. And then we should see those apparatus in California beginning of January, hopefully on the coast by the end of January, and in service. I would anticipate a February, March target date for having those in service. Engine 40's engine replacement is progressing, no ETA on it yet. And yeah, Engine 40 should be back from vehicle maintenance after Thanksgiving. That's all I have.
Visiting Wisconsin in December. One point I'd like to make, should make in the finance committee that the last time we went over the investment policy, and I'd like to, I assume we're going to get that back next month. I'd like to have it. And Chief, I don't know if you've had an opportunity to investigate that California class, the acronym, but if possible, that could be what I need your, we need your opinion on the status of that and whether it's worth pursuing it all, and also finishing off the investment policy to do that.
Yeah, I had a call with Gene about it. I don't know if Gene, you wanted to comment.
Yes, I reached out to our auditors and they've not gotten back to me yet. I asked them to take a look at it, so I will follow up with them, and our intention is to have it on your December agenda.
Thank you. The last thing I would just mention is that in December, we, among other things, will be voting on committees and committee membership. And I'd just like to ask, I know Patrick Hanna will be a new board member, but I'll get look at it. The question always comes up: do you rotate it, or do you put people who have specific interests and knowledge in a particular position? But please give some thought to what you might like to change, if anything, and what committees you might be on. Having said that, there is one organization that I think that we've been lax, and I'm supposed to be a representative of it, and that's the California Special District Association, the metropolitan group that changes to the Bay Area. And they meet on Zoom, and my schedule is such that I just have not been able to participate very often. That I think has become that Special District Association is becoming more and more important to us as an organization. And I do think we need some active board members involved in that. So please take a look at your committees you're on and what you might think we might do different or better for next year.
Are all these meetings Zoom always?
Yes. They are hybrid, so but they are, I believe they're hybrid, yeah, you can go with all. I know with all. So where are the meetings go? Good question. It's in San Mateo, I do not know. They've had them in different locations in the past, but right now I'm not sure. Anything else?
Yeah, when I was on that committee, it rotated
Yeah.
spots all the time.
A lot of it, because of the nature of the special districts, really doesn't pertain to us. I mean, there's cemetery districts and all that, but on occasion, there are really nuggets that really do pertain to us, and we're missing out on participating and giving our opinion as to what's going on in that particular area. The California Special District Association was just the lead and responsible for saving bacon on ERAP a couple of months ago. Anyway, anything else? Without objection, we are adjourned. Thank you very much.